shall now go on to our last speaker in this segment, Dr. Sharvanan, a highly reputed surgeon and a most admired teacher, a senior consultant of Vitreoretina department at the Arvind Eye Care Systems, Coimbatore. He's going to be talking to us, giving us a pearl on what lies beneath pachychoroid neovasculopathy. On to you, doctor.
Thank you, madam, and thanks, Srinivas, for having me here. Just showing the importance of doing OCT angiography in pachychoroid neovasculopathy. So this is a case, my case of approximately, he was a 50-year-old male. He was actually a general physician who had been diagnosed as a case of central serous retinopathy in his left eye and has undergone two focal laser therapies elsewhere. And almost the fluid has been persisting for close to more than 1.5 years. And finally was advised injection for the left eye. So this was the older angiogram which was taken elsewhere. You can see there's a diffuse RP epitheliopathy with some sort of leak there in the left eye in the central area near the fovea. And this was his right eye. It was not well dilated, and you can see that it was normal at the OCT. As you can see, both the horizontal and the vertical OCTs. But you can notice the large choroidal vessels indicating the pachychoroid disease here. The left eye, there was a very shallow fluid in the posterior pole with a small RP degeneration. It was looking like a shallow PED in clinically. And this is the OCT. You can see that there's a very shallow fluid in the subfoveal zone, along with a very shallow PED in that area which I mentioned earlier. So this is, as you can see, this is a shallow PED with a shallow fluid, and you can see the large choroidal vessels indicating a pachychoroid disease with the shallow PED. And this is the OCT angiography, which I wanted to show. The main indication for this presentation was, you can see the deep, this is the superficial plexus, deep plexus, which are quite normal. But when you go to the deeper avascular retina, you're able to pick up a small vascular network in the deeper layers, indicating area of neovascularization just beneath the PE which you are visualizing on structural OCT. There was some changes in the chorioceptors as well, but this is the area just showing the importance of doing a 3mm scan compared to the 6mm scan. 6mm scan, the first one you done was not very clear. Just see a few hyperreflective areas, but you do the 3mm scan, you can clearly delineate the network. Just trying to stress the importance of doing a 3mm scan to visualize smaller vessels. When you enlarge a 3mm, 6mm scan, you don't see that much clarity, but doing a 3mm scan really helps to visualize. And we try to superimpose this. This is the area of PED on a clinical photograph, and this is the OCTA superimposed on the fundus image. You can see that the network is just right sitting underneath that shallow PED which you visualized. So we have a lot of indications for doing OCT angiography, but I feel this is one of the very critical indications to make a diagnosis, because doing FFA and ICG angiogram does not clearly give you a picture of these vessels. In this patient, we finally went on to do a photodynamic therapy. Just the pachychoroid spectrum, as already talked about, it can be indicated by either the increased thickness or the larger presence of the larger choroid vessels with atrophied smaller choriocephalus layer. So they can include pigment epitheliopathy, serous retinopathy, neovasculopathy, and polypoidal choroidal vasculopathy. And the pachychoroid features indicate tessellation and on clinical examination, increased choroidal thickness and pathological dilatation of the outer choroidal vessels and loss of chorioceptors and sacral layer overlaying the pachy vessels. I just wanted to impress the point again in another case. It's again a 47-year-old lady who had a vision drop for approximately 8 months, which was treated with some medicines and elsewhere. And this you can see some amount of fluid and Harrop states in the left eye. Right eye is quite normal, as you can see here. Left eye, similar picture, a localized fluid with a shallow PED in the right in the center, sitting in the center. And this is indicating the thicker choroid on enhanced depth imaging. And obviously the other eye also showing very large choroidal vessels with the atrophy of the smaller vessels in the superficial choroid. And this is the swept source OCT, again showing the larger vessels in the deeper layers just underlying the foveal zone. And again, if you look at the FFA and ICG, you are not able to see a very typical network. There is some diffuse leakage both in FFA as well as ICG, but it's not really to visualize the new vessels. Again, you can see in the later stage it's not very clear, but if we do a OCTA, you can see the typical network sitting in the right in the subfoveal zone. So I just wanted to impress the importance of doing a OCT angiograph in suspect polypoidal choroidal, pachychoroid neovasculopathy, which may be a DD for a PCV, especially in the presence of pachychoroid disease. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharvanan, for such a lucid presentation. One simple question: what is the predictor of the final visual acuity in these cases?
Chronicity, the duration will be one important indicator, and whether the network is right under the foot also may play a role, and also the success of a therapy, whether it's responding well to your injections or you want to do a PDT. So that also, all these three the factors will be playing a role on the final visual outcome.
Dr. Srinivas?
Thank you, Saravanan sir. You have brought out a very valid points of what lies underneath the pachychoroid and the PCV, which is, I think, which we are seeing very commonly nowadays in our clinical practice. So I think we have a debate on that later on, where Dr. Vinod will be arguing that ICGA, OCTA is really not necessary in these cases. So Lalit sir, quick comments. I'm sure that people who have OCTA definitely can.
Yeah. It's not an uncommon finding, to be very frank. All our patients of CSR now we do Octa primarily to pick up this, but the problem is how to manage. You see, we have 13 patients like this. The presence of this network, if the vision is good, I will just observe. It's a quiescent kind of CNVM. Whereas if there is a fluid there, then you know, normally CSR is not a anti-VEGF disease. But presence of such kind of membrane dictates that you should inject anti-VEGF. So that is the whole, beauty of Octa to pick up. It's a spectrum. You see CSR, PCV, in between pachychoroid neovasculopathy. So once you develop neovasculopathy, then the indication of injection of anti-VEGF comes in.
ICGA picks up the larger vessels which are seen in polypoidal choroidal vasculopathy, but in the PCN or the pachychoroid neovasculopathy, vessels tend to be very, very minute and
very fine.
Just in the ICG, even in the confocal ICG also. So I feel Octa has got a very definitive role in diagnosing this particular entity.
That's what I was saying. Octa, once you started doing Octa as a routine, so this finding we pick up very commonly in patients of CSR.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to add that in addition to what Saran said, Saran's case actually a beautiful point of this one subtle finding that if you, in these cases, when you see on the structural OCT, a big pachy vessel in cross section as is shown in this case, and a double layer sign with an elevated RP, a mild elevation of RP, this is a perfect scenario and recipe to do an Octa and look for the little network of vessel. Very often you will find, and we have actually gone back and looked at our cases, and we found that when you have this kind of setting, a cross-sectional large pachy vessel, a slightly elevated RP, and you would almost invariably find this kind of a network. And yes, as like everybody said, the value of Octa lies not in picking up membranes as such, but in picking up membranes early and very early networks, and it helps you proactively treat the patient earlier.
And it responds.
Thank you.
I would just like to point out that Sarvanan's second case beautifully showed a point. There was a flat, irregular PED. When you see chronic CSCR with a flat, irregular PED, like his second case, those are the real high-risk cases for
Neovascular resistance
or a type 1 CNV.
Saravanan, I had a quick question to you.
Yeah.
When we look into this pipettes and when we look into the height of the sub-RP height in most of these cases, may it be a pachychoroid spectrum or in cases of CNVM as well, in how many cases do we really in clinic we really try to measure the height of these fibrovascular PEDs in case of occult CNVM, and do we try to correlate with the Octa and try to see whether to inject or not to inject, because most of these cases doesn't have fluid either in the intraretinal or the subretinal fluid. So do we really look into these, and if there is increasing height of these fibrovascular PED, and do we have to treat these cases?
As Lalit sir already pointed out, in the absence of any surface signs like either CNV or SRF, I wouldn't be very keen on treating these patients. Right now, we don't have any recommendations as per Octa to whether to retreat or not. Mainly, we look at the structural OCT for surface signs to decide whether we need to treat.
Thank you very much. We